Hey there, cats and kiddos! Uda back! I know it's been a little while since the last tutorial type Animal Crossing video, but I have working on this flower thing for, it's been a little while. I really wanted to dig into the method and, check as much stuff about it as possible and really just, get my hands on it before I recommended it to you guys and make sure it, did everything it says on the tin. And I have. It's taken like a week of on and off just massive gardening time, as you can see by my super amazing gardening outfit. But we definitely can get all of the flowers with this method. So guys, let's just get you gardening. I know I said let's get you gardening, but before that, everybody, if you haven't, drop a sub for the channel, guys. It means so much to me. We're going for 1,000 subscribers this year, and we are getting super close. Y'all are awesome. And if you liked the video, found it funny, found it helpful, just, like to click on buttons, go ahead and drop a like. If you like to say, hey, whatever, leave me a comment. Okay, now time for extreme gardening. Animal Crossing edition. So this is going to be our flower breeding and cloning area. I have made some little designs just so that you guys can visually see what's going on a little bit better, but you don't have to do that. If it helps you, go right ahead. I find it helps me a little bit. I get a little confused, all the flowers start to blur together a little bit. So, if you want, you can use some little designs to mark out your areas. If not, that's cool too. Now, here is the graphic that shows what we're going to be doing, and I'm going to have a link down to it in the description below to the Reddit post that I found, and I believe that is the original source. It was made through some data mining and some experimentation, some math, according to what I read at least. But I find it to be a really nice compact, like if you want to have all the flowers in one 12 by 12 area and get all the way down the flower chain, it is really good. It's not the fastest. It's not the best to get X flower, but I personally think it is very good if you want to just go for all of the flowers. And, it can be sped up. As it'll say in the graphic, it can be sped up if you have a couple of friends coming over to help you water your flowers, but I did it on my own the long, hard way just because I wanted to really grind it out and, again, just fully test out everything before I recommended it to you guys. So, to get started, we are going to want to take a look at the image, and you'll notice that there are little bags of seeds by most of the flowers. That means we're going to start from seeds to make sure that the flower breed is pure from seeds, so that when it crossbreeds with other flowers and hybrids, it's all very calculated and we know what's going to happen. So we're going to need about 52 seeds. Now, as you can see on the image, it's broken up into 4 different zones, and the different zones are going to get you different types of flowers. Some of them will move, like from zone 1, will move on into zone 2 and then into zone 3 to get you final hybrids. Some of them will, like in zone 4, a lot of the flowers you get from the breeds over there just are the final hybrid, so, yeah. Just really look at the graphic, look at the image, read it up. It's got a lot of good information. Just make sure you cover it. Honestly, the one part I will say that is the most, confusing for me is just looking at the picture and then looking at my flowers and trying not to get totally confused by the flowers on the screen. So just make sure you go through your flowers slowly every day. Check and make sure everything matches up and move all of the new hybrids accordingly. To get started here, we're just going to go up into zone 1 and we are going to start planting the seeds just like it shows in the picture. I'm going to keep saying that. Just follow along with the picture, follow along with me, and plant your seeds. You might make a mistake here or there, or put something in the slightly wrong place. It doesn't matter that much, as long as you catch it later on. I know I made a few mistakes. You might be able to notice watching this video. I put a couple flowers in the wrong places, but I eventually noticed, and I figured it out. So just follow along with me. Let's get these seeds planted. You can plant these in, whatever zone, whatever order you like, depending on what seeds you have. Based on the seeds I have, I'm going to move over to zone 4 now, and it's a little bit easier for me to move separately like that. So I'm going to move down to zone 4, and we're going to get the seeds planted over there. Another reason I am starting with zones 1 and 4 is because all but, I think, one pair of flowers are the ones that start from seeds in these zones. And zones 2 and 3 tend to be made up of the hybrids that you get from zones 1, and I think there are a couple you get from zone 4. So that's why we are starting with zone 1 and 4, other than, seeds that I have. The last spot here in zone 4 is for hybrid roses, which we do not have yet, so we will leave that empty. Now that we've finished planting these, I am going to water all of these bad boys, and we are going to date skip to tomorrow and see how they've grown. We are going to be doing a lot of date skipping in this video just to speed up the process for recording. You do not have to date skip if you do not want to. You can go day by day and do this as well. It will take longer, but it's totally an option. Play the game however you want. That's what Animal Crossing's all about. So we have planted the flowers, watered the flowers, skipped a day. Now we are watering the flowers again. Now I have a few more of the seeds I need. We don't have any for pears because we need some hybrids for that in zone 2, but we're going to start planting a few single flowers from seeds here in zone 2 and get those started, just so you know. Now I'm going to skip forward another day and get these boys watered again. And lucky us, it's a rainy day, so we don't even have to do the watering. Nature does the work for us. So we're just going to go look at our flowers really quick, save, skip ahead another day, and they should be blooming by now. Now, from this point on, there's going to be probably a good little chunk of sped up footage as I skip through the days, water the flowers, and I'm just going to be following the image. As I get the hybrids I want, I'm going to move them in the areas that the image shows in zones 2 and 3. And if I get things I don't want, I have a garbage can nearby. I'm just going to chuck them. Don't need an excess of flowers all over my life. I already have that on most of the rest of my island. But yeah, just so you guys know what's happening, we're just going to be skipping days, watering flowers, moving flowers, until we start, getting to the final hybrids we need. Once we get to the end of a hybrid line, the last flower that can be made from breeding, we will start to move them over into our cloning area so we can duplicate them and get lots of pretty colored flowers. So here we have one of our first final hybrids, the pink mum. Now, if you want to look at the graphic, we got the pink mum in zone 4. So if you look at the zone 4 part, you'll see red mum plus white mum from seeds has a 100% chance of making a pink mum, and it has a red star next to it. What the red star means is, if you go up a little bit in the key, that's a final hybrid. It means that is the end of the line for that flower. Pink mums will not breed with other things to make anything new. So what we're going to do is we're going to move it over into the cloning area to see if we can get it to start spreading. So we can, get more pink mums from nothing. Now, as you can see, we have been watering, skipping days, watering, moving hybrids to where they need to be. Our zone 2 is really filling out nice and well. Our cloning area has a lot of beautifully colored flowers, so we're making good progress. It's, it takes a bit of time, but we are making progress, and we are getting a lot of cool flowers. An important thing to note about the cloning area, and as you can see in the image, and it does explain on that graphic in text and everything, so just, again, read it really well. If you do not want your flowers to breed in the cloning area and you just want them to reproduce the same colors, make sure that 2 flowers of the same type are never next to each other. Make sure there's always one space in between 2 flowers of the same type. Even on the diagonal, I try to keep them separated as much as possible so they have plenty of room to spit out baby flowers wherever they may. Now there is, I would say, one little, not really complicated, but one thing you want to make sure you pay attention to in this method, and it is explained very well on the graphic. It is about zone 2. The purple and the white roses, when you breed them together to get a purple rose, when you get that purple rose, you want to take that and breed it with a yellow rose from seeds. If a yellow rose is produced, then you want to put that purple rose into zone 3. And if it only makes white roses, like, give it a few chances, but if you're only getting white roses out of those two breeding, then that purple rose just does not have the genetics that you need. So scrap it, you know. But yeah, if it produces yellow though, then you can move it into zone 3. That is it's probably the most interesting little quirk of this method for sure, in my opinion. So we're gonna skip forward a little because, you know, as much fun as watching sped up footage of me watering and moving flowers around, that doesn't really add to the tutorial, and I like to try and make these as concise as possible. But basically, here we are at the end. We are getting the final hybrids. The blue roses have come. We're gonna move those over into the cloning area. That's really all there is to it, guys. Just read the graphic really well. Follow along with the image, start from seeds, take your time if you want to, just do it day by day, don't worry about time skipping, rush if you want to, time skip, invite all of your friends over, that'll make the process speed up drastically. There is a bit of RNG involved, because you just, you know, that some of them, especially the final hybrids, have a pretty low percentage chance of coming out the way you want, so, you know, even with friends, it might take a little longer than you like, but also you might get super lucky and get it really quickly. It's all just a little bit of luck involved. But I personally, after fiddling around with this method for a week, I would recommend it. It works. Just make sure you follow the instructions and definitely start from seeds. It helps not have any weird things happen. And definitely make sure to do the extra step with the purple roses before you move them into zone 3. That way you will for sure not waste a bunch of time. Well, guys, I'm sorry I haven't put out more content. I really hope this video helps you out. I have been working super hard on it because a lot of people have been asking for a flower breeding guide, and this would be my, after playing around with a few different methods, my definite best recommendation for a small area to get every single type of flower. So thank you for watching. If you've made it this far into the video, you are amazing. Remember, if you haven't already, subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. It helps me out so much. Leave a like, drop a comment. Let me know what kind of a tutorial you would like for the next one, and I will see y'all later.